What up, everyone? Welcome
What's
to
up,
another
King?
week of the Opps SportsCast in the building, baby. Hey, we got a good, fun week of topics to throw at you today. Can't wait to get into it. Let's just introduce the team that we got with us. It's the same crew. We fully stacked this week. Got my man Josh back. Why don't we
Sir.
start off with Dave? Introduce yourself.
It's the one and only Dave in the cut.
Yes, sir.
Josh from East Side.
It's your boy Big Zeke.
And of
Big
course,
Zeke.
Chris Peasy in the building. Hey, we got a lot to
Please.
talk about this week too, because OKC and Pacers in the finals. If you guys have been following the podcast, I've already dubbed it the most boring finals in NBA history. But we're going to talk about it because it's got a kind of interesting subcontext where the paths for those two NBA teams making it to the final, all roads go through Paul George, who is sitting at home in Cancun probably, or rehabbing, or doing his podcast or something. So we're gonna talk about that. We're also going to talk about something interesting in the sports world. The um, intergraph or autograph culture, as far as how sports athletes have to deal with auto hounds chasing them for signatures, and there was some pretty interesting um, uh, incidents that happen in the in the sports world that we'll get into, and we'll show you some clips of where a man literally throws his jersey at the feet of David Robinson. Is something that's crazy. You got to see it. And then we're going to talk about Simone Biles versus Riley Gaines. It's been all up in the news. We'll get into that, give you our thoughts and opinions on that, and then of course our weekly roundup. But let's go ahead and jump right into it, fellas. Let's go into our first topic of the week. Josh, if you could throw our first one up on the board, we're going to be talking about Paul George here.
Hold up, we didn't do this. We didn't do our sponsorship.
Oh, let's throw it to our sponsor first. Dave, why don't you take it away?
Let's
Yes,
go.
sir. All right. This week's episode is sponsored by Opposition Radio. Opposition Radio is a 24-hour internet radio station that offers Christian hip hop, EDM, R&B, reggae, Latin, and pop music. Be sure to check out the amazing artists in rotation by going to oppositionradio.live from any internet browser. Opposition Radio, motivation to stand firm. Thank you, fellas.
Dope.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
The Ops.
So, I mean, as far as that goes, the series is now 1-1. I know they're playing right now, and so we'll see who is able to wrestle the lead here in the NBA Finals. But both paths have gone through Paul George. Uh, Dave, you want to kind of take it away for like the context for this topic? Josh, if you can throw it up on our screen.
Okay, so for context, what I wanted to, I kind of just wanted us to chop this up because it's not really a 1 through 5 kind of vote type of debate thing. I wanted to chop this up, man, because this is a situation where a move is made for a particular athlete, or you have one or two athletes involved in a trade, and how they can have such a large effect on many organizations after it happens. Um, I feel like the Paul George situation is one of those things where you have one organization that's going for it all, but at the sacrifice of their franchise's future. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're willing to cripple the future of their franchise to win now, to fulfill the win now urge, or to satisfy the win now culture. You got a lot of fans that are like, "Oh, we haven't won a championship in 5 years," or our window is closing or whatnot. But then you have organizations in other sports that have never won a championship, or some that haven't won one in 80 plus years. So this is a situation where one organization saw an opportunity to win now, and basically what they did was make other organizations talent rich, and and all they're really doing is put themselves in a position for their ship to take on water for the next 4 to 5 years. So So with that being said, this conversation is about Paul George, who was a highly sought after free agent, and a team's willingness um, to give up so much rich talent. Um, Maybe not that they knew of at the time, but if they had been patient and just kind of said, you know what, we're going to ride it out with what we have, they gave up an enormous amount of assets to get a player that I think wasn't even worth half of that. So that's pretty much my summation of it. PZ, you want to take it over?
Yeah, let me ask you this, brother. Do you have Paul George as a potential future Hall of Famer in your
No,
books?
I do not.
Okay. And so,
Paul George, in my opinion, is a Gilbert Arenas type of player. A good player, but MVP caliber player. No, he hasn't been on the court enough, man. And I just don't think that he hasn't been that. He's not that. He hasn't been that franchise changing player. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people could argue, okay, why is Carmelo Anthony going into the Hall of Fame? Carmelo Anthony, when he was with the Denver Nuggets, he changed the trajectory of the Denver Nuggets, and there were some moves made and some things happened that really didn't, the pieces weren't added in my opinion, to help Carmelo take his team over the top. So I don't see Paul George at all being um, a Hall of Fame type player. I don't see him getting a sniff.
so I guess I'll give you kind of like, my spin on this. But let me first start with a little bit of context. When we're talking about Paul George effect, we're talking about the fact that Paul George started with the Indiana Pacers.
Yes,
That's the team that he was drafted by, and that's the team that he blossomed into an all-star. And then, he got a little disgruntled, wanted to win. And so they shipped him out and they sent him down to OKC. In the process, with what Indiana did with the talent that they received back, including DeMontis Sabonis, they ended up trading that over to the Sacramento Kings for a guy you may know if you're paying attention to the final, named Tyrese Halliburton, right? The dude that I said in a previous podcast, because I was a little bitter about my Knicks, has the most punchable face in the NBA, for context.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I was a little salty that day.
I was waiting for that full on context, bro.
That's right. That's right. The whole context. Um, what OKC did is they took that and then they traded that to the Los Angeles Clippers, who ended up giving them 5 first-round draft picks. Uh, but they also were able to get a young man by the name of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And he just turned into the MVP this year. And now they have their team set up in the finals. Both teams benefiting greatly and having their star player as a result of getting rid of Paul George. And I think probably at the time, for context, I think both franchises were probably a little bitter with Paul George for not wanting to stick it through and win there. But smart franchises they are, they knew when to cut bait and they were able to get a haul for it. So much so that I almost see it as this. And Zeke, being a Cowboys fan, I don't know if you agree with this. To me, this is almost the Herschel Walker trade times two for these NBA franchises. It's like the Herschel Walker trade time. And for those of you who don't know context about the Herschel Walker trade, I know Zeke probably knows all about this, but it's when Jimmy Johnson sent Herschel Walker off the team, right? And they got a horde of draft picks, and it set them up for the next decade, essentially, of winning back in the 90s when they won all those championships. And so, like now, like in the NFL, they actually have like a schedule of, hey, this player is worth this many draft picks, so that way they don't get fleeced again. But they don't really have that in the NBA. And so you got situations like my poor Knicks, where they give up like a ton of draft picks to get the likes of Mikal Bridges, and then can't even make it past the Indiana Pacers, unfortunately. So that's kind of how I see this. I see this as the Herschel Walker trade times two, and I think it speaks volumes for small market teams that if you're crafty enough, you can make wine out of grapes. Zeke, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I think I want to mention that they also used one of those draft picks that they got to scoop up Jalen Williams back in 2022. Um, I heard what you said about the Pacers getting Halliburton, but I think uh, OKC is better set up to have kind of like a dynastic run, um, based off of what they got from. They still got draft picks coming from this
Yeah,
trade. So
It's
they're
true.
not even done reaping the
Yeah.
benefits of getting
yeah.
rid of Podcast P. So I when I looked at this deal, I heard you mention the Herschel Walker trade. I kind of thought about not necessarily a trade per se, but teams making moves based on what a player has done, no matter if they're on the downside of their peak or past their peak. I kind of think about that contract that Albert Pujols signed back with the Angels. He was like 31 years old, and they signed that man to a 10-year contract. I can't remember how many millions it was, but that was probably one of the worst contracts in the history of baseball. We all love what Pujols did in the past up to that point, but they paid for what the man did and never reaped the benefits of it. So I kind of see that as um, I think Steve Ballmer was just trying to make a big splash with the Paul George trade, and it backfired
Hmm.
tremendously. So I don't know if we're gonna see a trade like that again for a player who, like I said, he was what 28 at the time, which isn't insanely old in real life, but in basketball years, he was already 8, 9 years in. To give up that much for somebody who had played already so much and put that type of basketball mileage on his body, I don't think we'll see a trade like that again. I don't think somebody's gonna be that foolish to
No.
trade for an 8, 9, 10 year vet and give up their entire foreseeable future.
Not to mention he had some injuries up before those trades, including that really bad ankle roll that everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" When you
Yeah,
saw it, it
yeah.
just made you cringe. Yeah,
Nasty.
that those injuries are hard to come back from. And to be honest, I don't think Paul George had his bounce like he did before after coming back from that injury.
Was
Is
it
that
him
your
who
take,
broke his
Josh?
leg in the Olympics or something like that? Or am I getting him confused with somebody else?
I don't know.
I thought he had a real bad like leg break.
He did,
Yeah,
but that
no,
was
yeah,
Yeah,
he
the
I
other.
could
did.
be thinking about somebody else.
yeah, the leg break was
No,
bad. That was behind the court,
yeah,
and then
it snapped.
yes,
Yeah,
and
That
then
was
there was
nasty.
then there was a ankle roll that happened like a year or two after that. That was just horrendous.
yeah. So yeah, I don't
Yeah,
see another team making a mistake like that.
Yep,
series of unfortunate events for Podcast P.
yep,
Okay,
big time.
so Josh, any more context to that, or should we jump to the next one?
Nah, I think you guys covered it all. Let's keep it rolling here.
All right, beautiful. Throw the next topic up on the screen. Okay, do you happen to have that video clip? Okay, so do I need to set it up for any kind of context, or you
Yeah,
want to do it?
set it up. I'm gonna get it rolling right now.
Okay, so a lot of times as fans, fans is short for fanatics, and fanatics, fanatical. Sometimes as fans, we could be kind of overzealous. And so, what is the athlete's responsibility towards fans? Do they have to sign every single autograph that anxious fan slips them a baseball card, a basketball, a football? Do they have to sign every baseball? And so uh, check out this event that happened with David Robinson at an event. And, we're going to give you our thoughts on that, and feel free to leave yours in the chat.
All right, here we go.
Hey yo, hey yo, yo.
leave it right there.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah. Do we got the one with Roman Anthony too?
I don't have that one. No.
Oh, okay. That was interesting as well. So
we can
basically,
explain that one.
you saw it for yourself. The man, David Robinson, for whatever reason, maybe he got inundated with signatures. We'll give David Robinson the benefit of the doubt. He's always been an outstanding citizen, but he didn't want to sign my man's jersey. He was not having that, was he? Threw the jersey on the floor as a sign of disrespect. Um, and so like, yeah. What do you guys think of that? Zeke,
What happened?
we know it's you. So okay, so however, yeah, so this is that's essentially what happened. There was also an incident that happened, which I'll just explain with star AAA. Well, actually, I think he just got called up. Roman Anthony is the number one prospect for the Boston Red Sox, and I think Dave could probably talk a little bit better about this because he's the card collector among us. But you remember that video clip with Roman Anthony? Why don't you set the stage and let people know what happened there, and then we'll jump into our thoughts.
Okay, so for context, Roman Anthony is the number one prospect in all of MLB. Okay, obviously they got this kid marked as the second coming of everybody who's ever been great, as they do with all prospects. I wish we had the video, but for uh, for those who don't know, so typically what happens is when a prospect is playing down in Double A, Triple A, you have a group of fans called card hounds or auto hounds. And what they do is they hang out at the player exit where the players go out to their cars and they're standing there with their notebooks already open. They've got all the cards lined up perfectly with a pen, and they pass the book to the athlete and for the athlete to sign. And typically, these cards don't end up in their personal collection. They end up on eBay or whatnot, somewhere like that. So they're a nice little chunk of change is made off of these athletes, and it's typically men 50 and above who are, standing out there waiting for these autographs. Rarely are there children. I think there were
Mm.
15 people standing outside waiting for Roman Anthony to come out of the clubhouse, and two of them were kids, and they were probably just bait for the adults to get the autographs. Um, as a card collector, I don't have a problem with these gentlemen seeking autographs. It's the coming out there every single day when they know that the players are in town and like how ultra prepared they are, and it's just the way they go about it. They have like a kind of a shark mentality. That part I don't agree with. I think that part of the hobby is for kids. I think you bring your kids out, you let your kids get autographs, and so be it. That be the end of it. But these guys are basically sharking these guys and looking for these autographs. So somebody thought it would be a good idea and be clever for Roman Anthony to hide in a rolling laundry cart to get past the auto hounds and to get to the bus and get on the bus. And so that's what he did. They put him in a laundry cart. They rolled the cart right past all these people, unsuspecting fans waiting for autographs. And they blew it up on social media. Oh, and Roman Anthony is wheeled past a horde of fans. There's literally 15 people out there, and they were like just basically all card nerds. So um, I'll give my take on it, but that's pretty much what happened. It wasn't. I don't think it was a good look, but I'll get to that part. So
Yeah.
go ahead, PZ.
What? Okay. So here I'll throw it to Josh. What do you think is uh, the responsibility of the athletes towards the fans in these situations?
Yeah, for me, I read up on the Admiral as a Spurs fan, even though I lost so much Um, I lost on my following since we lost Kawhi Leonard to the Raptors, and then Duncan retired, and we lost our core guys, Ginobili, Tony Parker, all those guys. But I say all that to say this. I followed up on this because the Admiral, one of the greatest Spurs to play the game. Um, he's one of my favorite players. And I was like, man, that just doesn't seem like him. Why would he do that? Right. And for context, in reading some articles, read up on this, there was a designated time for fans to come and get autographs. This point in time where we see the video, right? It was just captured and it kind of, may have been misunderstood if somebody was watching, didn't know what was going on. But the dude came up and tried to get an autograph, and it wasn't time for that. The Admiral was on a mission. He was already doing something. And it was set aside for him to do the task that he was doing. So by no means did the fan have the right of way to an autograph at that time. And furthermore, there was a time set aside for autographs to take place. So I think the Admiral handled that really well, right? He could have, kind of been like, man, that's disrespectful, right? He could have responded in a negative way, but he handled it very well, calmly, forgot it, pushed him on, and kept going with his day. So um, I think some people may take things out of context, and in this situation, I think it was handled perfectly. I don't think that he did anything wrong. In fact, he was right to not sign it, right? Because if he signs it for one, he's going to sign it for all, right? That would be um, kind of where I see this, and so I think it was overblown. I think people are you know all hot for no reason. Some people were giving backlash to Robinson, and some people think that it's the athlete's duty to answer the call anytime a endearing fan comes up to them. I don't believe that's the case. The dude's time is his time, and he's there on a mission. He's there on a job. Let the man do his job. And when you want an autograph, go stand in line for 2 hours, get your autograph when it's time.
Z, what do you think, brother? I mean, the man had his jersey. His jersey. You don't you
Hmm.
don't you don't see any like responsibility, like someone buys your jersey, or you
Absolutely
kind of
not.
agree with Josh there.
I agree 100% with Josh because I was going to make the same point that he made. That particular time during the event was the time for photo ops. Uh, we're using the word fan way too loosely. I don't think he was a fan at all. I just think he wanted
Mhm.
an autograph so he can make some money off of it. Because if he was a true fan, I get to take a picture with David Robinson.
Right,
If he's
Mhm.
a true fan, I'm posing with David Robinson, my arm around his back or whatever. I'm
right.
cheesing like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah, this is the Admiral. I got my selfie. And I'm holding on to the jersey. Like if David said, nah, not right now, especially since it wasn't autograph time, it was selfie time, I'm
Mhm.
gonna keep the jersey and try to catch him some other time. But I read that David really isn't big on signing stuff outside of like set aside autograph sessions.
Exactly.
So this could have been at this event. It could have been at the mall somewhere. Could have been anywhere. But if David Robinson isn't sitting at a table with a bunch of sharpies at a designated time to sign stuff, you're probably not gonna get an autograph anyway. And I
Mhm.
don't, I don't, I don't hold him to the standard where you have to do it. If he was an active player, maybe. If he was still playing, maybe. But the man did his time. He put the years in. He's enjoying his retirement. He steps out every now and then for these photo ops and different events, and he has his designated autograph sessions. I don't have a problem with him saying not right now, especially if, like John said, there was a time for autographs.
Yep.
For whatever reason, I don't know if Homeboy missed it, or maybe Dave recognized it. Maybe it was like a one autograph per customer type, and he saw him and like, hey, I already got you.
Right.
Yeah, you
Right.
never know because these dudes can't. He might have went back and changed his hat and put some glasses on, and Dave was like, "I know
Yep.
you, buddy." I don't
Yep.
know. That could have been the situation. So,
Pulled the Bobby
uh,
Valentine.
right, yeah, Bobby Valentine, grimy for that. But
Nasty, but
yeah, it's just with the whole picture. Like even without knowing all the details of the situation with that was photo op time and he had missed autograph time, even without knowing all those details. No, I don't think he was obligated to sign the jersey. And with the whole Roman Anthony thing, I laughed at it. They put my man in a laundry bin and wheeled him to the bus. Like that's some minor league shenanigans for real. Now he's gonna have to get used to signing autographs because they
Yeah.
absolutely love him in Boston. They're already talking about it's time for the Roman Empire. The
Wow.
man he got his first hit last night, and they're
I
like, "Oh
like
my
it.
gosh, we're gonna win the World Series." Dude, you're gonna have to get used to signing autographs, but I don't know what kind of day the man had. I don't know if he wasn't feeling all that hot and just wanted to get from the locker room to the bus, and his teammates helped him out.
Yep.
So I laughed at it. I didn't see any kind of malice in that at all. That was funny to me.
Yep.
I like that Roman Empire. That sounds dope. But just I don't think these athletes are doing these signing sessions for free. They're getting paid for that.
Absolutely, they're getting paid, and
As
that's
they
why I don't have a
should.
problem with David Robinson. Look, if I can get paid for my autograph, I'm
Hmm.
not just gonna be giving it all free for willy nilly.
Yeah,
Like I
because
might I
guess,
Yeah.
might catch if you walk up to me in the mall or walking down the street or something, if I say yes, consider a privilege. But if I say no, that's also a choice. You want my autograph? Catch me in 2 weeks at the convention center for what's the big one going on in New York right now or coming up in a couple weeks?
Fanatics Fest.
Fangraphs or Fanatics Fest? Yeah, catch me at Fanatics Fest. Come get an autograph.
yeah, and
So
not to mention, go ahead.
I was gonna say my take is kind of like yours, but like a little bit like reversed. Like if as an active player, like I'm completely on board. You got these autograph hounds that are just trying to get you to sign a million things. Man, you got a job to do. If you need to get onto the practice field or get to where you're going, you can't be there all day long. Sign a few autographs before you take the field or before you step on the court or what have you. I get that. These fans are supporting you. I actually think when you're doing these autograph events, you got people like you were saying, Josh, waiting for hours to get your autograph. If it takes a few more minutes to make the last 5, 10 people happy, like, bro, they came out to see you, man. Like, that's a sign of respect. You know what I mean? This is just they're like, man, I feel honored. Thank you for coming out to see me. Thank you for supporting. You know what I mean? Thank you for putting, food on my table when I'm not playing anymore. So to me, like in that situation and in that context, Zeke, I actually do think that the athlete does have some responsibility. They have some responsibility. Like the only reason you're booking these events is because people want to see you, and the fact that they did come out, like I feel like you owe them a little bit. Like now when it comes to you're playing for the sports team is paying you to play on the field. Now as far as them buying your jerseys or what have you, that's always special. I think a good athlete should go out of their way to sign as many as they can just to make the kids happy and to bring more people to the game and the sport. But no, I agree with you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those fanatics can get a little overzealous.
And you know what
Dave, you got
else?
it? Yeah.
Real quick, before Dave jumps in here, and I'm sure Dave can even touch on this a little bit, but the other thing too is we don't know like what kind of pen that dude had. There was something I didn't realize, but a lot of athletes will not sign in blue pen because they are easily forged.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that. And so who knows? Did the dude hand him a blue pen also? Right? There's so many layers to this, right? And it's like now you could forge this dude's autograph and then make crazy dollars on that and selling it, right? And if college athletes can go as far as not be professional yet, even though they are working their way up, but get NIL deals, name, image, and likeness, these guys who made their life on their name, image, and likeness, they're trying to protect themselves, right? And at the end of the day, if somebody's trying to, you know, make it big on your name, image, and likeness, I think you have a right to deny people and to, choose when and how and and with what you're signing.
Yes.
Dave, you want to chime in here?
Yeah. I'm gonna go along with what Josh said. I have to believe that David Robinson was, I mean, and Josh stated this. I have to believe that that David Robinson was at an event where he was making an appearance, and there was to be no autograph signing, and this guy thought he could sneak up and get an autograph, and David Robinson was like, "Oh no, I can't do that. I'm not here in that capacity." And the dude just got butt hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, my the thing with it too is that we say a lot of times, these people stand in line for hours and wait for these autographs.
Excuse me.
Those people are paying for those autographs, and they're not cheap. Um, One of the people that I collect, Manny Machado. Manny Machado charges $250 per autograph per item.
Woo.
So it's not cheap. So when they're at an event and they're sitting there to sign, they are obligated to sign until the last person comes by because they've already been paid for it. People have purchased their autograph. So what you do is you purchase, you bring your items and you purchase your autographs. They give you a ticket for each autograph that you purchase for each item. And so when you go up, before you go up to the table where the person is, they check your tickets, how many autographs you have and for what items. And then when you get up there, you don't make it to the table unless you have those tickets, and you hand them over to that person, and then the athlete will sign those items for you. But
Mm.
these guys are making a ton of money signing autographs. People are making good money online selling these autographs. And so a lot of times these athletes are reluctant to sign outside of these sanctioned events because it takes money out of their pockets. And it also kind of turns their autographs into a black market thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like these autographs get out there, and people are charging an exorbitant amount of money, for autograph memorabilia. Um, I wish all of you guys were into cars. I know Zeke is into cars a little bit, but I wish we could have heavier conversations about cars because I'm really into it. You guys see I got cars behind me on my shows and stuff like that. Um, but the autograph game these days, man, it's no joke. And Zeke was talking about Fanatics Fest. Fanatics Fest is being run by Michael Rubin, who owns Fanatics and owns Tops. And just kind of get on my soapbox a little bit. Um, he's kind of taken his lifestyle and the way he does things and is infusing that into the collectibles industry. You're starting to see kind of like a lot of similarities to what's going on with the white parties that he used to throw. The Fanatics Fest is basically it's just another version of the white party. There's nothing really remotely close to a card show about it. It's just a lot of top tier athletes that are going to be there charging an exorbitant amount of money for autographs. They're selling VIP slots for you to get into the show, which is like a crazy amount of money. Last year, people were promised a bunch of extras, when if you sign up for the VIP access, and they were promised like packs of cards and all of this other VIP access and stuff like that. The packs of cards that they were given were like 3-year-old packs with like commons in them and stuff like that. It was just a complete joke. And then they have had all these big names show up, and these people are charging like 350, 450, $500 per autograph. So this whole autograph culture thing is really starting to kind of turn into, it's kind of starting to get sleazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Fanatics and Tops, they're not doing anything to help it.
Mm.
They're actually ushering in this new age of kind of infusing gambling into the sports card hobby, and it's starting to create um, a lot of problems for people who are struggling with gambling addictions and things like that. So something as simple as collecting cards like we did when we were kids, man, like hoping to get autographs and stuff like that, has kind of turned into this thing that's like not really pretty. So um I remember that back in the day, I used to go up to Silver Stadium, man, 4 blocks from my house, man, and I take my cars with me. I'd be able to go get there early, go to batting practice. I got to see a lot of legends come through that stadium, man. And one of the people that, believe it or not, that I got to talk to a lot and got to get a lot of stuff autographed from was Kirk Schilling. A lot of people look at Kirk Schilling today and they talk about his politics and all of this stuff like that. I'm one of these kids, man, from back in the early 80s when Kirk Schilling was coming through the Rochester Red Wings organization. He would stand there and talk to us. There was this group called the Knot Hole Gang, and
Not whole gang.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
we used to go to the games, man, and we would stand there while they were taking BP, and they would come over and talk to us about school. They would sign anything that we had, man. I have so much stuff
That's cool.
signed by Kurt Schilling, man. So I know, people look at Kurt Schilling and they look at these athletes, man, and they have them labeled a certain way because they have certain views. But ask a person like me who got to stand with Kurt Schilling when I was just a young kid, man, and he was like telling us how to throw, how not to throw curveballs and stuff like that, just throw fastballs and changeups, and how you doing in school, and what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, do you read the Bible? He was quoting Bible verses to us. He would sign Bible verses on the cards that he signed for us. People don't talk
Nice.
about that kind of stuff, man. But we're uplifting these guys that are out there, women chasing and and just like, got, flossing with all of the swag, and it's like they're just known for just kind of just being players. We like put these people up on a pedestal, but these athletes that help kind of shape our mentality and like taught us and talked to us about the right things when we were younger. Those are the guys that really don't get any shine. So I really hope they clean up the car culture, man. I kind of went on a tangent, but that's something that's kind of just been on my mind, and I just wanted to talk about that.
That's dope.
For sure, man. For
Shout out
sure.
to Kurt Schilling,
All
man.
right. So, yeah, make sure if you haven't and you're out there, if you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel yet, make sure that you stop what you're doing and hit that like button right now and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers, and so your help would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you share this content as well. Let's get ahead and jump into the news of the week. It was kind of making its rounds and through sports media. Simone Biles decided to get into um, a tit for tat with Riley Gaines. And for those of you who don't know, Riley Gaines is the swimmer who lost her race to a transgender athlete. Well, actually, I think it was like a tie, wasn't it? She had to split first place with the transgender athlete.
Fifth place.
What?
Fifth place.
You fighting
Uh,
over fifth place.
Yeah. But go ahead.
okay,
Continue your intro to the story.
so she's gone on to receive like a lot of attention in her pursuit to purify women's sports and get men out of women's sports, right? And so you would think it would be, especially for someone in Simone Biles' situation, something that she would appreciate, but that's not what happened this week. So the drama started when uh, Riley Gaines was talking about a baseball team. I think it was like a little league kind of or women's team where the pitcher won the championship for their team. It was a transgender athlete through over 21 innings, scoreless innings, uh, to win the championship. And Riley Gaines was bringing attention to that, like basically like, well, of course. I mean, when you got a man on your team, you should win like that, right? And so as a result, Simone Biles felt like she was picking on, uh, uh, she was picking on transgenders. And this is what she said. She said, Riley Gaines, you are truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost the race. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or create a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a transgender category in all sports. But instead, you bully them. One thing is, no one in sports is safe with you around. And so Riley Gaines responded uh, to that tweet and said, "Oops, don't you hate it when your past self completely undermines your current nonsensical argument? How has 2025 Simone reconciled with the fact 2017 Simone was a truly sick bully by her own standards? What does she mean by that? Well, in 2017, Simone Biles tweeted out, good thing guys don't compete against girls, or he take all the gold medals." And so, for those who don't know who Simone Biles is, she is America's most decorated U.S. gymnast in
Mm-hmm.
history. Many consider her to be the GOAT, but a lot of people point out that she would not be the GOAT if they just combine men and women's sports. It's one of the reasons why, women's gymnastics don't have the same categories that men's gymnastics do, because it's a different sport altogether. And it just wouldn't be fair. And so, my question is this, because at this point, to me, it's like when you see the obvious contradictions, to me, it's just stunning that people still take these kind of positions. But Simone Biles feuding with Riley Gaines on transgender athletes, and she was quickly contradicted. But my question is this: do you guys think athletes really believe these type of issues, or are these just more talking points for their image? Dave, I see you shrugging.
Um, all right. To be frank, I think it's all show. Honestly, I think most of these people react and come out and say the things that they say because they have a fear of being left out. Um, they have a saying in the trading card industry. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. And I feel like they suffer from the same things, the fear of missing out, of having your take, be come out and be. A lot of times they get that, their agents are like, people are asking me why you're so quiet on this. I feel like, they sit with their people, their publicists, and they come up with this. You need a really strong statement to let people know that, you're a part of the struggle, that you support the struggle, and that you're sensitive to what these people feel, instead of just sitting back and saying, what, it's not affecting my household. Why do I, what, it has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? By the way, Judge just went deep again. He went, never mind.
Pay attention, man. Pay attention.
413 feet. Okay? So anyway, um, so I think people like Simone Biles, man, they dip their toe into so many pools to test the temperature. They can't even remember which pool is hot and which one is not. You know what I'm saying? So she clearly said something back in the day that contradicted how she feels today. It didn't really contradict how she felt. It just went away. It went against um, what was popular at the time. You feel me? So like now it's cool. The end thing right now is to just rage against the machine. And the machine is uh, the nuclear family. You feel what I'm saying? It's like anything that's anything that has to do with uh, the traditional family in our country. Forget our country. Anything that has to do with the traditional family from the Bible, okay, as God established it. All right. Um, it's like, hey, let's rage against that because it's the popular thing to do. I've never listen. I want to be clear about this. You guys know how what my stance is, and I'm not on here to get political or anything like that. But I have 6 grandkids. I got 3 grandkids that are playing sports. All right, and I do not want to step on a field and at any point see my granddaughters who both play soccer. I never want to see a biological male step on the field unless they're at that age group where they have mixed sports, because they do that when the kids are younger. They're trying to learn. But at a competitive level, um, I never want to see a biological male step on any competitive field with my granddaughters and just start scraping people because they're a biological male. It's just not. That's not something that I'm interested in seeing. I'm not interested in having my grandkids compete on that. You know, any in any kind of organization that supports that. Simone Biles is pandering for the side that is getting the most press right now. That's just my opinion. Um, I've watched the documentary on Simone Biles. Simone Biles has an amazing story. But Simone Biles should stick to what she's good at, and that's being a gymnast.
Speaking of scraping, we almost got to make like a, a editor's note, community note on a previous podcast because the Iman Khalif, the gold medalist in the women's boxing, it was determined that she does actually have male chromosomes. She is a male, and so like yeah, when she hit that lady in hit her so hard that she was just there like, you know what? I'm done. I've never been
No
hit that hard in
mas.
my life. She had her no mas moment like, yo, if I get hit like that again, I might die.
She was like, "Oh, what happened to
Dang.
We
Peasy?"
just
Hit
lost
that woman
Peasy
so hard, Chris got knocked
midday.
off the broadcast. God no. The reverberation from that
Hey,
punch was
yo,
crazy.
here
Oh
we
my
go.
gosh.
Come on, let me
Sent
get
them
her
to
right
the
here.
nether realm.
Peasy, she
Chris,
Oh
heard you
man.
talking about her.
you gotta
Dang.
watch out what you
That's the
say. They're
FBI out
listening.
there.
They're
That's why you gotta
listening.
like and subscribe to our podcast. The FBI is trying to take us out. Let me stop.
Oh man.
So yeah,
Yeah, so
Zeke,
Chris,
you
to
got
bring
some strong
context.
opinions on this? Oh, go ahead, Josh. You want
Chris,
to jump in?
no, just to add some context to what you were just saying about the boxer, main Imam Khalif. Um, the boxer, I'm going to say, has to provide genetic tests before they can move forward with competing on Olympic level. So currently, that boxer is barred until they provide their genetic tests.
Well, they already had a genetic test. So, this past week, it came out that she has male chromosomes. So it's a open and shut case now, bro.
I'm seeing it as just a couple days ago. It's pending, but maybe I'm missing it.
So, anyways,
Yep.
let's Zeke, do you got a strong opinion on this? Do you think athletes really believe what they post, or they're just doing this for talking points for the image? I mean, is there truth to what Simone Biles said? Uh, can Riley Gaines really be a bigot for just stating biological facts?
Here's the thing. A lot of athletes may be fronting for the camera. Um, I don't think Simone Biles is one of them. I don't think Simone Biles has that FOMO mentality because she is the GOAT. Like
She is
she
it.
doesn't
Yeah.
have to do she doesn't have to do anything else on a gymnastics mat, and she will go down in history as probably the greatest of all time. Um, I the more I read about this story, though, I think like Riley Gaines, like I understand. I could understand if you got beat out and you finished second to Leah Thomas. Um, her biggest gripe about this particular event, I'm gonna read because this is what made me laugh when I was reading the story. After that race, Thomas and Gaines shared the fifth place podium, but Gaines said that Thomas was given the only fifth place trophy for the event. She's mad because they didn't have a fifth place trophy for her. The first thing I thought was, since when do we give out fifth place trophies? Why
right.
are there so many places on the podium? Like you mad because you finished tied for fifth. What about the other four women that beat you? Like apparently you just weren't good that day. If Leah Thomas wasn't in the race, guess what? You were gonna be fifth. So yeah, her biggest gripe was because they had to mail her a fifth place trophy, and she wanted to know how come Leah got the fifth place trophy and Riley didn't get the fifth place trophy. And apparently the margin was so close that they considered it a tie. but technically Leah Thomas touched the wall first by like a hundredth of a second. So my biggest thing from this is be better. I mean, you got
Zeke,
beat by four other women.
you don't have any problem with the fact that a biological male took the place of a deserving female that should have been in that race instead?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yes. Do I think Leah Thomas should have been in the pool? Absolutely not. But for this particular story, this all started because Riley Gaines was upset because she tied for fifth with a transgender athlete.
Yeah, like I think what Zeke is also saying is like, what was the other top four excuse, right? And
Like she wasn't going
I'm
to win the race anyway, so she's mad about this. And I actually agree with what Simone said when she said we need to find, like I've actually said this before, come up with a transgender category for all sports so we can have men's basketball, women's basketball, transgender basketball, men's
Mhm.
Absolutely.
basketball or men's baseball, women's softball, and whether you transgenders want to play baseball or softball, put them on the field and let them do that. So there's no more mixing of genders on these playing fields. Certain sports, I don't see why or how it would be a huge advantage, like the whole fencing story we had the other day. I mean, uh, everybody's wearing the same gear, and as far as I know, they're using the same sword or whatever they call it. Maybe wingspan issues or whatever, but if they're the same size and they're wearing the same gear and using the same equipment, then go ahead and poke away. But um, Josh, stop. Um, wait till I see you, man. Wait till I see you. We're gonna
Did
fight.
Josh just do like
He did. He did. He
the
did the
sign
silent.
for
He did the
pause?
silent pause. He
He
did the
did the
silent
silent
pause.
pause. Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
but yeah. I mean, I agree with Simone where we should find a way to once and for all get rid of this whole debate. And I think a big thing would be to just create a transgender category. So if they want to play whatever sport they want to play, they're playing against each other. So there's no controversy. You don't
Well,
have
let
to
me be
worry
devil's
about.
advocate to that stance, Zeke. I'm a transgender athlete. Comes to you
Mhm.
and says, "Well, that's not fair because there's not enough transgenders in our school to build a team." What say you?
Then I mean, we went to a school where if you wanted to play football, guess what you had to do? You had to go to play with East. If you wanted to swim, you had to go swim on East team. So if we get a bunch of transgenders in one community, maybe it's not school versus school, but maybe it's just all right. We got a bunch of transgenders in this community who want to play. We have this league set aside just for them,
Okay,
and do
but
it that way.
this is not happening today, and Riley Gaines is bringing attention to this conversation. You don't think that? I mean, because it sounds like you were piling on Riley a little bit. You don't think what she's doing is important?
I mean, sure, but she's not the only one. We've been talking about transgender athletes in sports for a while. So she's just another person who goes on
cog in
Fox
the wheel.
News and says what she wants to say and does what she wants to do. But I mean, she's not unique. She's not special because if Riley Gaines disappears, there's going to be somebody else bringing attention to this issue. My issue with Riley Gaines is you got beat by four other women. You're just mad because you didn't get a fifth place trophy. So yeah.
I think it's important. I'll give my take, I guess. I think it's important for us to have spokesmen like Riley Gaines because like she was in it. She competed at the highest levels, whether she was able to finish first or not. She made it to that level, and everybody in that pool had to earn their way into that position. So, I would give her props in that regard, and the fact that she's had the boldness to stand out for it. So much so that I mean, when Trump signed that into law, of banning, transgenders or defining essentially what a male, what a man and a woman was when he first came into office. She was standing right there when they did that Protection Act for women's sports. So it just says that I think society owes her a debt of gratitude, which I don't think Simone Biles was giving her proper flowers here. Because I mean, like, I mean, you wouldn't have all those gold medals. No one would really even know who she was if we just allowed biological men just to be, if we just combined all the genders into one category, well, nobody even know who she was. And so, honestly, I don't think these athletes really believe this stuff. I really don't, because I can't imagine how people could get into their head and honestly believe, oh yeah, yeah, men can have babies. Like you say that, bro. Like I don't. To me, it doesn't compute. Like we're not living in the same reality, the same existence. Like you're comfortable lying to yourself, and I don't understand. I don't understand how they can say it with a straight face. Personally, I don't even know how some of these people can say it with a straight face. And I think they're just doing it for clout. And I think it's a shame that Simone Biles went there because it's just they're like, man, like you the goat. Like you don't gotta like do this for clout. Like you don't have to go there. Like why don't you just say what you really feel? And what you really feel is exactly what you said in 2017 before you got brainwashed. You know what I
I'm
mean?
glad you brought that tweet up because I'm looking at the tweet and it looks like a response to somebody else's post. And I've been fighting against using this word because I clowned you on it, but I would love to know the context of that tweet because
You
it,
picked the
it looks
wrong
like it could
episode
have
to
been,
say that, didn't you?
huh? What happened?
You picked the wrong episode to say that.
Yeah.
Context, my
I
favorite
mean,
word. Look whose favorite word it is now.
I've used it once. You've used it like 10 times in every episode. Um, but I would love to know what she was responding to just kind of get like the true temperature of that tweet. Was she serious about, oh, I'm glad dudes aren't participating in women's gymnastics, or was she joking, like reacting to whatever she saw? I would love to see what she was reacting to. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find it. I went to try to find whatever she was
How
reacting
about
to,
the
and it's been
context
since
being
been
just
deleted.
this? How about the context just being this? Reality. How about it just
I
being
mean, for the for
reality?
the sake
It's
for the sake
just
of this
being
discussion, we can make
real.
the context whatever we want it to be. But I would love to know what she was truly reacting to, and how she truly meant that tweet. I mean, just reading it, having Riley pull it up, like, oh, is this you? Like people pull up past tweets all the time to try to make somebody look worse than they are.
But
When in
this
reality, if you see what was really going on at the time, we're talking what 8 years ago.
this is
That
what I
doesn't
mean
necessarily
by
mean her stance towards transgender athletes and sports has changed. She could have just been reacting to something that she thought might have been funny. It could have been a comedy skit or whatever. We don't know what she was reacting to. We just
but
saw what
it's
she
just
typed.
we do know it's disingenuous because like if she really was about that, oh, you're the goat, you got all these gold medals. Why don't you swing over to the men's side of the division then? You the GOAT. You don't think that there should be divisions in sports? Like to me, it's just disingenuous. It's fake. You know what I mean? They're just doing it for image. They're doing it for fluff. Is they're like when you register to be in gymnastics, you pick the division based on your gender. We gonna pretend like that didn't happen? You gonna pretend like that don't exist? Like to me, it's like these athletes are doing it for image. They're doing it for clout. They're doing it because that's what's cool. And it's a shame, bro. It's like like everybody's just turned their brains off. Like they can't see truth anymore. Like they don't understand what's happening. Like to me, it's just wow. It's just wow. Uh,
Here's the thing though, like when you take a sport like gymnastics, and say combine it, like when you got basketball, you got fencing, you got swimming, and all these other sports where the dimensions of every playing field is the same, and the requirements of each activity is the same. It's different for gymnastics because like you don't have the women doing the pommel horse and the rings and all this different stuff. Just like you don't have guys. I can't recall seeing guys do like the uneven bars and the floor exercise that a lot of the women do because yeah, if guys tried to compete in women's gymnastics doing women's gymnastics events, there would be a serious disadvantage. Just like if Simone went and tried to do the rings and the pommel horse and everything, she'd be at a disadvantage. So to say that go compete with the guys and get smoked, well, if the guys came over and tried to do the stuff that they're doing, I think they would get smoked also. So yeah, I mean, gymnastics is totally different. That's why it's separate. But swimming, fencing, basketball, there's clear physical disadvantages to having mixed crowds on the court and on the fields and in the pool.
But the fact that there's a difference at all, especially in the sport of swimming, like there's physical differences when you jump into that pool, muscle mass, all of that, strength,
Bone density.
all of that goes into play.
Exactly.
And for Simone Biles to pretend like none of that exists is disingenuous at best. But I think it's just all a play for clout. And I think that's what's sad about our
Simone
society
don't
is
need the
that,
clout. Simone don't need
well,
the clout. She's not doing this
apparent,
to garner any fans. She don't need the clout. Maybe this is
apparently
just
she
really
does,
how she
bro.
feels.
Mm.
Nah, I don't think that's how she feels, bro. I really
Okay,
don't.
agree to
You,
I
disagree.
don't.
The
so
beauty of
Chris,
the whole thing is this to me. The beauty of it is that no matter how we feel about Simone Biles and her take on it, she has every right to stand on what she believes in because of the country that we live in and where we live and the type of system that we have here. She has just as much right to believe in her reality as Roddy Gaines does. And so it opens it up for dialogue as long as it stays respectful and it doesn't get too out of hand, where it turns into these weird situations where people are like swatting people and stuff like that, which usually ends up being the case. One side takes it a little too far, and then there you have it. The civil debate is over. But the fact that both of these people can have a difference of opinion, they can go back and forth as long as it doesn't get personal, and they can both kind of get their points across about how they feel about something. The part that I don't like is when one side gets frustrated because they can't force their opinion or belief on the other side. That's the part that I can't deal with. Have as much respect as you want somebody to have about how you feel about something. Have that same energy about my desire and my right to not believe in it or to have a different opinion. You see what I'm saying? And that's where I find like there's always that side that's like, no, this is how we feel, and you have to understand it. You have to believe in what we believe in. No, that's not how it works, player. It's like I don't.
Mhm.
I have my I have my own opinion, and I let you have your opinion. But then it starts to get cloudy when you're trying to force your opinion on me, and you're getting angry because I won't take sides with you and I won't bow down and bend the knee to what your opinion is. So I feel like that's when all of the controversy comes in, is when one side is expecting the other to like not only listen to their side, to their point of view, agree with their point of view, and bend the knee to their
But
point of
that's what we see happening in the sports world today. The fact that transgenders are allowed to be in those sports, that's them forcing their worldview to get into that spot in the first place. They
I
shouldn't
don't think
be
it's
in.
all sports though, so I think it is particular to certain sports. Like, I mean, we don't see it in the NBA, we don't see it in the NFL, we don't see it in the MLB, we don't see it in all the major sports, US sports, right? I don't think soccer, I haven't seen a story of like a soccer star, a transgender star joining the team, right? So I think a lot of the sports that are starting to see the infiltration are are on a I don't even know what the word is. They're not as on as high of a following in those
Well,
sports
that's
that have the
because
major
it
followings.
it's all one direction, Josh. Like you see the biological men going into women's sports and dominating. What are the examples of the biological women going into men's sports and dominating? Maybe there's a reason for that.
Let's keep it real. Who really cares about gymnastics until the Olympics come along?
Even when
Nobody.
the Olympics are there, I don't care.
Other
Who
gymnasts,
who cares about
Bro,
swimming
like
until the Olympics come
I'll
along?
give I'll
other
give
swimmers.
gymnastics some props. I watch the
Nah,
gymnastics sometimes.
nah. If you're not giving polo ponies props, I don't want to hear nothing about you gymnastics, Chris.
Polo ponies.
I don't want to hear nothing
Really,
about
polo
gymnastics.
ponies?
Josh,
Polo,
not everybody is NFL
polo,
only, bro.
polo.
Polo ponies, but I watch the Olympics every now and then.
I
Like,
mean, we all watch the Olympics, but my
what
point
Yeah,
was that? The
was
'96 Olympics where what was her name?
my
Carrie Sharp
point
was
though.
that? And when
My
she broke
point
her
was who
ankle,
cares
that
about
was
it until
epic,
the
bro.
Olympics come along though? Who cares about swimming or gymnastics until the Olympics are here. Who cares
Swimmers
about
and
That's facts.
curling,
gymnasts.
bro? I
Exactly.
That's
love curling
facts.
when the Olympics are on. When the Olympics are over, I couldn't care less about curling.
Yep.
You feel me?
Right.
Nah, I mean, yeah, that's why there's no like, professional, New York City swimmers versus the Texas swimmers. I mean, nobody, I get you.
Exactly. Because it's
I get
not
you.
as marketable. It's not as entertaining. It's not as it doesn't sell as well.
It's
Yeah.
facts. No argument here. All right, let's jump into the weekly roundup. Um, to me, this is kind of like sad news. I think, like we got the LA riots that's going down
Mm.
in California, and there was unexpected casualty, to put it um, probably not the best way.
Wait. Did you
Uh,
call it the LA riots?
yeah, what would you call it,
I don't know. I put protests in quotes. I wanted to see how everybody thought about that, how everybody felt about it. What do you guys
bro? I
think?
think we're
Riot,
past that.
protest,
When
or
you got
riot?
cars in the middle of the street getting burnt, it's a riot, bro. Um,
They
but
were old
anyways,
cars anyway, man. Them cars were gonna be out, they were gonna fail the smog test anyway.
Dave. So what the heck? Dave sees cars burning all the time in Rochester. Apparently, is that like, oh, okay.
Oh, hey, we kind of do
Anyways,
390.
that's Rochester got a lot worse than
I know,
when I
man.
left. Apparently,
Greece kind of
uh,
getting there, Daddy. I have to tell you.
my goodness. But yeah, the Kobe Bryant mural, Kobe and Gigi, was vandalized, and you can see it on the screen right there. They spray painted over it. To my knowledge, this is actually not the first time that it was vandalized, but I can't imagine why anybody would want to do that, even if you're not a Lakers fan. Like,
Oh, I can definitely imagine why they'd want to do it
share your
to
thoughts.
stir up the chaos, to spark
Okay.
more anger and hatred in the community. Like I know Dave mentioned a certain race that was probably going to have random acts of violence against them, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was just some regular white dude, Boston Celtics fan who was in LA on business and everything broke out. He was like, "I'm about to spark some right here." And so, I
Yep.
mean, that's not even like good vandalism. That's just somebody who had a white spray can of spray paint and
Right.
went crazy
Right.
like that. Yeah, yeah, that was done just to spark more chaos
That
and
was
incite
like,
more violence.
And for context,
Dang
my
it, Dave!
yeah,
my comments about the random acts of violence, bro. Kobe wasn't just a Laker. Kobe was a baller, and like everybody loved Kobe, man. And then
Yeah,
the tragic trajectory of his story, along with his daughter, that just it tears at the heart of all fans. You know what I'm saying? So whether you are um whether you're a Boston fan, or whether you are a Knick fan, it's like it's Kobe, man. Kobe, Kobe, it's the Mamba, you know. And when you disrespect the Mamba, man, it's felt at so many levels. I feel like fans from all organizations feel disrespected when that happens. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That was my feel on it, man. It was
Mm.
yeah.
completely unnecessary. But don't let them get a hint of who might have done it, man. It's gonna be hell to pay, man. I hate to say it, but you know how people are, man, especially in LA.
Yeah.
Well, with this being like not the first time it happened, I'm surprised nobody had like cameras up on like some kind of CCTV feed to
Right.
try to
I'm pretty
catch,
sure they
make
did, man.
sure that it doesn't happen
It may
again.
come to
It's
pass.
2025, cameras everywhere.
It may come to pass if there's footage of it, and that's what I'm saying. Don't let people find out, man, because it
Hmm.
might not end well, man.
Yeah, that's sad to me. But all right. Well, any final thoughts, comments you guys want to? Oh, well, we already talked about that. Royals called up their number one prospect as well,
Jack,
Jack, man.
Caglione, right?
And,
That's
you
what you say
know,
his
wasn't he
first
supposed
name.
to be like a Shohei type, like a pitcher and a hitter? Wasn't he? Didn't he do
he
that
was
in
supposed
college?
to, but they scrubbed that. He's just gonna be a straight up baller. That's it. They scratched
Okay, because
it.
I remember using his card last year on MLB The Show,
Yeah.
and it was quick to P5 him because I was getting PXP from pitching and hitting. So
Oh
yeah, I was
yeah, yeah,
excited to see him come up.
yeah.
Oh man, what do you guys think of this Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers? I mean, I know we saw it coming for a long time.
What do I think about Aaron Rodgers? It's baseball season. Next,
Oh my goodness, Josh,
Facts.
you're a football guy.
I think it was a desperate move for a team that is losing trust in its front office.
Wow,
Um,
should have said
here's
for
the
a
thing:
desperate franchise.
Mike Tomlin's still the coach, right?
Yes.
yeah,
All right, 9-8. Next,
Okay,
bro,
bro, this
who's he
this
throwing
topic,
to?
bro.
okay,
DK,
my
right?
bad,
Guys,
DK
8-9.
Metcalf.
before we wrap, man, the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, and I was upset that they let go of Tibbs because I thought he was a great coach. But now they're just showing that he was a scapegoat because they don't have a solid plan B. When you're going to the Dallas Mavericks, when you're going to the Houston Rockets and saying, "Hey, can we interview your coach?"
The
and
Atlanta
they're telling you
Hawks too.
no.
The Atlanta Hawks too. 3 people turned them down.
Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks too, bro. Like
Rick
that was
Brunson
your
about to be
plan
your
when you
head coach.
And
right. This is just sad, bro. Like,
and
what?
Jay
Why did
Wright
we
said he's
fire
not interested
Tibbs?
in the job, man. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah,
Huh?
Jay Wright turned him down.
Jay
My man
Wright
don't even
turned him
have a
down.
job, and he's like, nah.
Bro, we're the Villanova Knicks, and Jay Wright don't even want to coach us. Yo, this is just
Nope.
becoming crazy, bro.
Bro, we in
Like
It,
trouble, man.
we're
They should
going
call
back to
Tibbs up and be like,
irrelevancy.
yo, man, we was just playing.
Right, April Fool's pimp. Come on back.
That's right. Yo, someone said that he should do what George Costanza did back in the day, where he quit and then just showed up the next day. He was there like, quit? No, I didn't quit. What are you talking about?
Costanza.
Just showed up, sat
Right?
down at his desk, and pretended like nothing ever happened. Bro,
Bro,
that's
they should
what
just
that's
call
what
him
we
up
need
and be
Tibbs
like,
to
yo, man,
do.
just show up
Fired.
tomorrow, man. We gonna act like
Right,
nothing.
just
I
keep
get
putting money in
fired.
his keep putting money in his account. Like keep the
That's right.
deposits going.
That's right.
And then
Why
when he
don't you
calls,
think
like,
we
why y'all
fired
still
you,
paying me?
Tibbs?
Because you still
Like,
our
bro,
coach. Come on in.
That's
it was all
wild,
over the
yo.
news. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Show up. You're supposed to be here on Monday. My
Right.
goodness.
Dang,
Knicks are in trouble. But
bad.
anyways, guys, we appreciate you guys so much for joining us for this podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. I can't really see it. Bobby Bonilla. It's
Bobby
not Bobby
Bo.
Bonilla Day, is it?
Bobby
Bania.
Bo
See
Day
that
is
auto
coming
on there, man? I got this autograph from Bobby Bonilla through the mail, dog.
through the
What?
mail.
You know what we
Dang.
used to do back in the day? We used to put two cards in an envelope inside of a business size envelope. We put them in the small envelope, right, and then put the small envelope in the business size envelope with our return address, and then they would sign. We would send it to them at the club at the club's address, and
Yeah.
they would autograph them and put them back in the smaller envelope that was already pre-addressed and had this postage on it and send them back to us. And I got 2 of these from Bobby Bonilla back in the day.
Wow.
Now, how long ago was that? Because I've seen way too many pictures on Reddit of ripped
This,
open envelopes and people cards is missing.
yeah, yo, bro. This was back in this '87.
Oh,
Wow.
back when postal workers were still trustworthy.
Yeah,
Dang, that's back when he played with Bonds, man. Speaking of
yeah.
which, why did Barry Bonds not at least teach Bobby Bonilla how to inject? Because he was trash when he played with the Mets. I would have much rather him.
Oh my
I,
Time
God,
out.
we,
You
we,
just mad because they paid him all that money.
yeah,
Bobby,
man, he
Bobby,
was trash. He was trash, man. He was just
That's
awful.
Steve Phillips' fault.
and Barry Bonds wasn't injecting, bro. He was rubbing.
He wasn't injecting. He needed to.
He was
I mean,
slathering.
bro, like his head was big already. Like, what difference does it make if it grew another size, man? Shoot up. No, I'm just playing.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, McGuire was injecting.
Yeah, he
That
was.
day, that's
Barry had
gross.
what, the clear and the cream or whatever he was using.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They was
Oh
all
my
doing something
goodness.
different.
That's insane.
Hey, well, thanks for joining us, guys. It's been fun. We'll catch you here same time every Wednesday, 9 p.m. We might be switching around some time slots to make sure that you like and subscribe so you can keep track of all of our events. And yeah, Thank you for joining us for the Opps SportsCast. Play that funky music.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.